Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The first chapter of this Mandukya Karika is called as Agama Prakaranam. Agama Prakaranam means the original Upanishad, and on this Gaudapada Acharya has given his own commentary in the form of Karikas. Now to understand this Om and to experience this, I'll give a very local example. It becomes easier. If you study the Shankara Bhashya with the technical terminologies, why get lost? So to make it simple, like human body, then there is an arrow from the head and it is written there, head, H-E-A-D. Then the trunk, another arrow, T-R-U-N. Then the legs, third arrow. So, human body is the object that is indicated. And the parts of that object, that it is head, it is trunk, it is the legs, exactly the same way. Our life has these three aspects: waking, dream, U, deep sleep, Ma. See? So, this U, Ma, Om, is the name, like the head, trunk and the legs. So, U, Ma, this is technically called as Abhidhan, name. And what is indicated by this thing? So it is the waking, the dream and the deep sleep. Now, whose head, whose trunk, whose legs? Of course the man's. In the same manner. Whose waking, whose dream, whose deep sleep? Of course the self. So who is the man? The man is the fourth one. One is the head, second is the trunk, third is the legs. Together is the man. In the same manner, our life is not only the head, not only the trunk, not only the legs, but our life is the total of it and beyond that. Exactly the same way, when we think about life, and when we think about whose life, this has to be clearly understood. So, the I, whatever that I we accept to begin with, this I has these three aspects: waking, dream and deep sleep. So this Om indicates these three experiences that every one of us goes through. Then, this is indicated with reference to the total life. So the first mantra tells, Om iti etad aksharam idam sarvam. So this Om, Auma, is idam sarvam, everything. Now everything means what? Everything means for the waking experience, the waking world, the waking experience, the waker. The dream world, the dream experience and the dreamer. The deep sleep world, the deep sleeper and the deep sleep experience. Idam sarvam. All this is Om iti etan aksharam sarvam. Aksharam means what? When the waking comes and goes, when the dream comes and goes, when the deep sleep comes and goes, nothing happens to me. I continue to be the same. See? So I am not because of the waking, I am not because of the dream, I am not because of the deep sleep, but because of me all these three things are possible. See the difference? Om iti etan aksharam idam sarvam. Aksharam naksharati. Ksharan means slowly getting worn out. Body gets worn out, we don't get worn out. That is why every old man tells, do you know, I am 81 years young. 81 years belong to the body. And the young belongs to the self. Then that vehicle, that bullock cart is like, on one side there is a male buffalo bullock, and on the other side there is a horse race, racehorse. What will be the condition of that bullock cart? One is going very fast, another is lethargic. In the same manner, in the old age, the body doesn't cooperate, the mind never becomes old. And this is how the most tragic experience of our life is, they do not match with each other. The body doesn't match with the mind doesn't match with the body. Net result is frustration. See, friends. Therefore, Om iti etan aksharam idam sarvam tasya upavyakhyanam. Now we shall try to understand very clearly, distinctly, upavyakhyanam, very closely, the meaning, the explanation of what is this Om is. What is this Omkar is. See, Omkar or Om, like a letter without the support of a vowel cannot be pronounced. Like ta, halanta. So, like chit. That in the chit, the ta is halanta. So, to make it clear, we add takar, makar, ukar. So that kar is meant to make us pronounce it clearly and distinctly. That doesn't mean ta has a car, a has a car, no. So, similarly, same the ahankar. That kar is aham. Because it becomes halanta, it cannot be pronounced. So, kar is added. So, akar, ukar, makar, takar, bakar, sakar, makar, like that, kar is that. So, omkar. So, this Om, tasya upavyakhyanam, very distinct, clear, close investigation of Om is being done. And bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti. So what is that? First, all the past, the present and the future, everything is this Om. Everything is included in the Om. Normally what we say, God is always there. So, we have made the time as the reality and put the God in that. See? In the past also God was there, in the present God is there, in the future God will be there. It is not that way. It is the other way around. In the divinity, in the Om, there is past, present, future. See? In the north, east, west, south, there is no space. In the space, these four things are superimposed. In Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, when he is asked, who are you? I am frightened. Ko bhava anugra rupaha. Bhagavan says, Kalosmi loka kshayakrit pravruddhaha. So there when Bhagavan says, I am Kala, the time, he doesn't mean north, east, west, south or yesterday, today, tomorrow. No. So, Kala is that principle, and that infinite principle is divided by the mind into past, present and the future. Therefore, bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkar eva. This Om alone is everything. So, everything is objects, past, present, future is time. And where are they? They are in the absolute space. So, desha kala vastu, everything is indicated by this Om. And Yacha Anyat Trikalatitam, and that which is beyond the limitations of the three periods of time, that api, tat api Omkara eva. That means everything is Om. That is why this Om is taken as Alamban. Kathopanishad says, Etadalambanam sreshtam, etadalambanam param, etadalambanam jnatva yo yadichati tasya tat. When Nachiket was explained what is this reality, so he was told, न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित नायम भूत्वा भविता वान भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोयम पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. So this Om is the one which is supporting everything, but it is not influenced by anything. So everything is Om. Now this is the first statement of understanding about Om. Now the second statement. Sarvam hi etad brahma ayam atma brahma soyam atma chatushpat. So sarvam hi etad brahma. The first what it was said, that everything is Om. Now it is said everything is Brahman. See? Like when the same person has got two names. So we tell, hey Mohan, get a glass of water. And the onlooker thinks, oh, Mohan is coming. Then when he comes, then I tell him, Soham, why didn't you get some biscuits along with it? What is this? Just now he said Mohan, now he's saying Soham. So the same person is referred by two names. Aham idam. So that which is indicated as the objective world in our experience, that is Om. And also this everything is nothing but Brahman. Therefore Om is tasya vachakaha. Om is indicator of the whole world and the Brahman also. Therefore Brahman is this world. See, in Ishavasya Upanishad, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. So what is the conclusion? Everything is Om, everything is Brahman, therefore Om is Brahman. And, okay, Om is Brahman, what we have to do? No, I am Atma Brahma. We are not talking about something called as Brahman about the clouds, or Brahman which is modified into the world. Like the milk is modified into the curds, and curds are modified into the butter is modified into the ghee. Now you can't put back the ghee back into the milk. In the same manner, this Brahman has not become the world. See, friends. So, everything is Om, everything is Brahman, therefore Om is Brahman, and that Brahman, that Om, Aham, I am Atma. Anguli Nirdesha, like when we say, I told you. We don't say, I told you. Because all of us have got this experience of I in the center of our chest, what is called as the Adhyatmik Hrudayam. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi translates this Hrudayam, Harati Ayam iti Hrudayam. That which takes away everything. See, when we come back to our own self, totally and fully, as in deep sleep. So, where the waking and the waker, dream and the dreamer, where they have gone back, Harati, they are looted away. That is called Hrudayam. See? So, we are indicating by a finger, and this is the finger we normally use because it is here the I, the ego is. See? We never say, see, I'll scold you if you don't listen to me. Don't say like that. We use this finger because this is Tarjani, Tarjanat Tarjani, the one who threatens. So, I am Atma Brahma, this is one of the Mahavakya. So, Sarvam hi etad Brahma, I am Atma Brahma, Now, Soyam Atma, this Atma or the Brahman or the Om. Now, see, three things are told about the same reality. What is the word indicating? The indicator is Om. The indicated is Brahman. That Brahman is the world. The Brahman is the Atma. Therefore, this Atma is everything. See, go step by step. If there is no I, there is nothing in this world. One elderly person asked me this question in Bombay. Swamiji, last few days I got terrible fear. So I kept quiet. I don't know what fear he had. He said, I got fear about death. I said, let us sort out your problem one by one. If you have got fear about death, I guarantee you will die. Don't worry. Next. Fear means what? Whether I will die or I will not die. Is it not? That is fear. So I said, don't have fear. You will definitely die. Don't worry. No. What will happen to my family, my wife, my children, my business, my property? I said, when I is not there, there is no my wife. When I is not there, there is no my property. When I is not there, there is no my country. So where is this everything? Everything is contained in this I, and this I we do not know. This is the beginning of the tragedy. See, we use this word I very many times. But what is the meaning of this I? So here we say, Ayam Atma, this I is Brahma. Ayam Atma, Brahma. So, Mai eva sakalam jatam, Mai sarvam pratishtitam, Mai sarvam layam yati, tad brahma dvayam asmiham. Kaivalya Upanishad says, everything is born in me, everything exists in me, everything goes back in me. That infinite reality is the essential meaning of I, the Brahman. So this Brahman, this I, this Atma, this Om is Chatushpad. It has four pad. Pad means, if you take a simple word, it means legs. That is what they say when somebody gets married. Oh, Chaturbhuj ho gaye kya? That means four hands have come together. But I don't accept that one. Chatushpad ho gaye kya? After marriage, it is not Chaturbhuja, but it is Chatushpad. So the meaning of the word pada is not the legs here. See, now to understand it, take your day-to-day example. If this example you are able to digest and practice, you have learned the secret of all spiritual life. There is nothing beyond this. In few words I'll tell you. Man is Atma or the Brahma. This man has got three more legs. First leg is his father. So with reference to his father, that man is called as son. The second leg to this man is his wife. With reference to his wife, he is called as husband. Now the third leg for the man is his own son. So this man is now called as the father. So has this one man become three? But because we give importance to these three, we call the man as fourth. But is he a fourth one? So here, if you take grammatical understanding, fourth means the fourth, or Turiya means the fourth, it is not the meaning. Turiya doesn't mean fourth in Vedanta. Turiya means the only one. See the difference? So when my father died, the son disappeared, one leg has gone. When my wife died, the second leg has gone. When my son died, my third leg has gone. But I continue to be. So am I, because of being became a son or a husband or this father, or because I am a man, all these three things are possible? So what is the reality? Is the son the reality, husband the reality, the father the reality, or is the man reality? And who is miserable? These three non-existing legs. See, therefore, ayam atma, brahma, soyam atma chatushpat. This atma has got 4 legs. So these are the 4 aspects. Now before we go to the next, another basic principle. Infinite is not the summation of the finite. It's a mathematical rule. See, because in the infinite, the finite is imagined. Like the space is infinite. And north, east, west, south, 4 directions. And the corners, another 4 directions, 8. Up and down, another 2 directions, 10. Is the space is equal to summation of these 10 directions? The space is much more than this. See, then what are these 10 directions? These are imagined. They are not real. If you remove the conditioning of the sun and the earth, which is the north, which is the south, which is the east, which is the west. In the same manner, when it is said, Ayam Atma Brahma, in this infinite absolute reality, the divisions are imagined, they are not real. So one conditioning is that of the names and the forms, then the Brahman is called as the world. The second conditioning of the Panchakoshas, the same Paramatma, the Brahman, is called as the Jiva. The same Paramatma or the Brahman with the conditioning of the Maya, the same Paramatma is called as the Ishvara. So, like the same man is called as the son, the husband and the father, in the same manner, the one absolute reality, the Brahman, is called as Jiva Jagat Ishvara because of the 3 conditionings. See? Where we are getting lost? In these non-existing imaginary things. Yesterday I was seeing one video, Prabhat also saw with me on YouTube. Why Vivekananda died at an early age. That was the video. You can also see. And you will see the presentation is so beautiful, but completely wrong. See? Vivekananda told to his friend, his Guru Bandhu, as we can call, we should not call, but we call. And he said, after 5-6 years, I am going to leave the body. When this is said, now these people give explanation. Because the soul, the Atma will start growing. And it cannot be contained in that body. So when you grow spiritually, your Atma grows. And this body cannot hold it. And therefore, the body bursts open and Atma goes and merges in the total Atma. Presentation-wise, it looks beautiful. But what is the infinite? What is the reality? That which cannot grow, that which cannot end, that which cannot modify, that which cannot be added upon, that is the reality. See, friends, it is something like, in one pot, or you can take the football bladder and go on pumping the air, and then the bladder bursts open. Why? Because the air in that football bladder was so much that the walls cannot hold. Easy to understand. Now, in one pot, you pump air. Can you pump air? Yes, air you can pump. Can you pump space? See, friends, This happens only because we imagine that I am inside the body and that I starts growing. As spiritually you grow, your Atma starts expanding. Ding, 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 ding. Blob. Realization. This is not the truth. And this happens only because we have taken, there is one soul per body. Like there is one soul per shoe, spelling may differ, meaning is the same. Without the soul, the shoes are useless. Similarly, without the soul, the body is useless. Spelling you can put anything, doesn't matter. Meaning is the same. It is not that. So, if this is understood now, Jagrita sthanaha bhishpradnaha saptangaha ekonvinshati mukhaha stula bhuk vaishvanaraha prathama padaha. Now the first pad. So the man is first a sun. So the first pad. Jagrita sthanaha bhishpradnaha. This absolute reality, the Brahman, is expressing as Jagrita sthanaha, as we are all now probably. I can't guarantee, no? I can say only probably. So, as we are now, this is Jagrita sthana, waking experience, and in the waking experience, there is a waker and he is Bahishpradnyaha. And his experience includes everything which is comprehended through the sense organs, etc. And they are other than him in the outer world. In simple words, that experience where I am inside and the world is outside, this kind of experience takes place. That experience is called as the waking experience. Bahishpradnya. See. And Saptangaha. Now here, this is a very subtle point, be attentive. In this Upanishad, something which is said is so great. See, the explanation is given from the cause and effect point of view. Now to understand this, take this example. When we talk of human anatomy, are we talking the anatomy of a particular person? We are talking about the anatomy of every human being. So when we talk about anatomy, we are talking at a totality level, not individuality level. Here also, when we talk about waker, we are not talking about I am waker, you are waker, you are waker. No. We all have the same kind of experience where the I is inside the body and the not I is outside the body. This is a phenomenon. It is a principle. So, this is being said at a causal level. See, samashti and vyashti, totality and individuality. And when we take ourselves to be in totality, I am a human being. But when I take myself to be individuality, then I am a father, I am a husband, I am a son. See, so the totality is reduced to the individuality because we have not understood that human being is a common noun. It is not a proper noun. And who is miserable is this proper noun. The common noun is not miserable. See. So, Bahishpradnyaha is an extrovert and experiences the external things through his mind. Saptangaha. Tasya bha etasya atmanaha vaishvanarasya murdha eva sutejaha chakshu vishwarupaha prana pruthakvi atma sandeho bahulo vastireva rai prithvi eva padau. In the Chandogya Upanishad it comes, this Vaishvanara is the waker with reference to the totality. And Vishwa is the waker with reference to the individuality. See? So when the conditioning is of totality, Paramatma or the Brahman is called as Vaishvanara. When the conditioning of individuality, he is called as Vishwa. But when our attention is on the conditioning and not on the conditioned, then we get lost in this world. Therefore, Vaishprajnaha Saptangaha, so he has got the 7 limbs, like they know the upper space, higher space is the head, the sun is the eyes, the air is the prana, then the space is the middle of the body, the water is his urine, and the earth is his legs. This is the Vishwarupa Darshan, what we see in Bhagavad Gita, what they tell. So the picture is to be drawn, so they draw huge Vishwarup, and Arjuna there a small atom type, and he has got so many heads. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. That doesn't mean he is standing and there are thousands of heads. No. In and through every head, he alone is expressing. See? Electricity doesn't have 100 bulbs. Through every bulb, it is the same electricity that is expressing. But our attention is only on the bulbs, it is not on the light. And it is not even on the light, not on the bulb, it is on what is illumined by the light. And therefore, we miss the bulb, we miss the light, we miss the electricity. See, friends, how many times when we are functioning, our mind goes to electricity? Because we are so much lost in this world which is illumined in the light of electricity that we forget that there is light in the bulb and behind the bulb there is electricity. Everything is forgotten. In the same manner, we get lost in this objective world so much that we forget the sense organs, we forget the mind, and we forget that which is expressing as the mind. And this is a common phenomenon. It is common for every being. There is one story I read in Mountain Path, a magazine published by Ramana Ashram. I like that story. There was a king, his guru told him, you are going to die and you will be born as a pig. And I bless you that when your ministry will catch hold of you in that pig yoni, you will be told, reminded that you are a king, and then you can discard the body and you can be again reborn as a human body in the royal family and enjoy this life. Okay. The king said, he died. He made all arrangements. Thereafter, the hunt for the royal pig started. And after 1 year, the hunt was successful and a particular royal pig with all the details was found and given a royal bath, pig given a royal bath and all that. And that time the minister tells that king in the big pig body, "Ki sir, you had told me," and the pig starts talking, "Yes, what is told is right. I am the same one. So should I destroy this body so that you can be again reborn?" No, don't do that. Why? At that time I did not know what a joy it is in the pig's body. We say the pig's body is dirty, but you ask the pig, I am very happy in that. Is it not a common phenomena? You want to kill a mosquito. Mosquito doesn't want to die, runs away. Because the principle of body identification is universal. It is not individual. See, friends, once we take this life at a totality level, the individuality disappears. Therefore, Jagrata Sthana Vaishprajnaha Saptangaha Ekonvinshati Mukhaha, there are 19 channels through which he becomes extroverts and enjoys or suffers in this world, and they are the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Panchapranas, 15, Manabuddhi Chitta Ahankar, 4, 19. So through these 19 channels, these Atma, who is called as Vaishwanaraha, he is experiencing, and he is called as Vaishwanaraha Prathama Padaha. Prathama Padam is the first step. This is the first place where we become aware of something higher in life, not in the dream, not in the deep sleep. In the waking state, we are fully manifested. In the dream state, we are 50% manifested. In the deep sleep state, manifestation is almost zero. See? So the ego is 100% in the waking, 50% in the dream, and zero in the deep sleep. Therefore, when somebody is sleeping and snoring away, he doesn't feel bad. I'm sorry, I'm snoring very loudly, so your sleep is disturbed, but what can I do? No, because there is no I there. So in this manner, this one absolute reality at the causal level has to be understood. Now what is at the causal level is same as the individual level. See, like the principle of manifestation of electricity in the bulb as a light is at the causal level. Now the same thing is found in every bulb. Whether it is a bulb in your mobile phone or it is a bulb illuminating a huge cricket ground, it is one and the same thing. Principle doesn't change, and that principle is the one what we have to catch hold of. After this is one part, the one aspect is told. Now the second aspect of our life is told. Swapnasthanaha antaprajnaha saptangaha ekon vinshati mukha pravivikta bhuktaha tejasaha dvitiya padaha. Now the second area of experience is the dream. So swapnasthanaha antaprajnaha. Now in the dream, all the experiences are happening without the presence of the external world, and all the impressions which were gathered on the mind as a result of interaction or rather reaction in this world, those impressions, they become the object of knowledge. So the same mind is becoming the object, the same mind is becoming the experiencer, and in this manner everything is antaprajnaha, all things are experienced within oneself. There is no sense of otherness in the dream with reference to the waking world. And there also the same thing, saptangaha, the eyes, nose, ears 6, and the tongue or the mouth 7. So from the 7, these various kinds of flames come out and various experiences take place. And ekon vinshati mukhaha, the same way pancha prana, pancha karmendriya, pancha jnanendriya, all 19 of them, and pravivikta bhukta tejasaha. And he is experiencing not separately but everything within the body. He is called a tejas or the sapna purush or the dreamer. Now see what has happened. When the conditioning is of the gross body, the gross world is real. When the conditioning is only of subtle body, not the gross body, then there is a dream world. Now the one who is making this statement, I had a good sleep, but in between there were bad dreams, who can make this statement? A waker cannot make this statement because waker was not present in the dream. The dreamer cannot make this statement because the dreamer is not present in the waking. The deep sleeper cannot make this statement because deep sleeper was not present in the waking. The waker cannot make this statement that I had a good sleep because the waker was not in the deep sleep. Then who makes this statement? Don't we make this statement? Who makes this? Then we come to know the one who was present in the deep sleep but was not sleeping. The one who was present in the dream but did not become a dreamer. And the one who is present in the waking, but the one who is speaking is not the waker, is the one who was present in both the dream and the deep sleep also, in addition to the waking. And therefore, he is the one which is supporting waking, dream and deep sleep, like the space supports the day with the rains, the day with the thunder but no rains, and the night with absolute darkness. Because of the rains, the space doesn't become wet. Because of the thunder, the space doesn't get disturbed. Because of the darkness, there is no fear for the space. In the same manner, this Chidakasha, this conscious space, supports the rainy experiences of the waking, the thundering experiences of the dream, the total darkness of the deep sleep, and a cloudless blue sky of the samadhi. All four experiences are supported by this one reality. That is meant by Om. This is the second path. So, sapnasthana antaprajnaha saptangaha ekonvinshatimukaha praviviktavuk tejasaha dvitiya padaha. This is the dvitiya pad. This is the second aspect of the self. Now, the third leg, tritiya padaha. Yatra supto na kanchana kamam kamayate na kanchana swapnam pashyati tat sushuptam sushupta sthane eki bhutaha prajnana ghane eva anandamayaha hi anandabhuk cheto mukaha prajnaha tritiya padaha. Now the third one. Yatra supto na kaschana kamam kamayate. When in the deep sleep there is no desire. Because there is no desire, there is no desirer. See, in Panchadashi, if you want study, do study. That it is the seventh chapter, which is called a Trupti Deep. Hindi book is available, Trupti, Santosh and Ananda. So, there one mantra is taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and further elaborated. And the mantra is when a seeker comes to know what is his essential nature, then will he ever desire anything? Will there be any desirer? See? Atmanam chet vijaniyat ayam asmiti purusha kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anushanjvaret. When the seeker comes to know the real meaning of the I, will he be ever living as the body and suffering through the limitations of the body? Will he ever desire? Will there be a desirer at all? See, till we reach this hall for our talk, we had a desire to reach the hall. That time you are desirer of reaching. After having reached, do we have that desire that I had to reach? Because we already reached. In the same manner, he who is free from the influence of the desire, he alone is liberated. See, friends, desire is a clear indication of incomplete journey. Therefore, Upanishad says, Yada sarve pramuchante kama yasya vridishritaha. When all desires are deleted once for all. And this experience we all have every day when we sleep. So here it is said, Yatra suptahana kanchan kamam kamayate. There is no desire. And because there is no desire, thereafter, na kanchan swapnam pashyati. Nor does he have any dream. What is the dream? The unfulfilled desires in the waking are projected. Suppose I am a subordinate in some office and my boss is a terrible monster, but I can't do anything. I have to listen to him. And inside I am frustrated, angry, disgusted. See? So, all the time, I don't know what to do with this fellow. So, in the dream I am the king. So I dream, my boss is my subordinate. And I call him, hey, pani le aao. When he brings water, I shout at him, who told you to bring water? Get out, fool. Because in the waking I can't do anything. So dream I create him and create and scold him. But when we have no desires in the waking world, you can never have a dream. Because no impressions are formed. This is one of the most important spiritual practice. When we live in this world, let no impressions be created on our mind. And impressions are created when we react. When we act, no impressions are created. See? When you are driving on a good road, impressions are not created. When there is speed breaker, oh God, these people are, impression is created. See? Therefore, yatra supto na kanchan kamam kamayate na kanchana swapnam pashyati tat sushuptam. So we are seeing the third experience. Waking, dream and deep sleep, where there is no operation of desire, and sushupti sthane eki bhutaha. Now the question is where the waker and his waking world, dreamer and his dream world has gone. In the deep sleep, eki bhutaha, they become as if absorbed. You must have seen the children having the bubble gum in their mouth. So they suck it up. In the same manner, in the Sushupti sthana, in the deep sleep, the waker with his waking world, the dreamer with his dream world, they are eki bhutaha, they are sucked inside within themselves, and prajnana ganaha. And what is there? It is now absolute knowledge where a sense of otherness is not prominent. Prajnana gana. And therefore, there is no sense of otherness. So, then what is there? There is no sense of otherness. This becomes the object. See, waking, there is a sense of otherness is an object. Dream, there is a sense of otherness is an object. In deep sleep, there is no sense of otherness is also an object. And therefore, in the deep sleep, we all have this experience, aham kimapi na janami, I know nothing. Because in the waking and the dream, we knew something. That something is totally gone. Therefore, in relation to the something, in deep sleep we say, I knew nothing. And yet, therefore, we are still at the mental level. We have not reached the absolute. See, that experience where the option of is and is not is valid, is samsara, is at the mental level. Where the option of is and is not valid, that is the truth. See? This is a recording machine. So what is on my palm? There is the recording machine. Now, after remove this one, now there is no recording machine on my palm. So how we know this object? We know this object in two ways, is and is not. So any experience which falls in the optional area of is and is not is a mental experience. But do we have the experience or option, I am or I am not? We don't have that option. So if we do not have the option, I am not, is it wise to say that I am? Think. Therefore, to tell the reality as such existence is also an abuse. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Neyam yattat prabhakshami yajñatva amrutam ashnute anadi mat param brahma na tat sat na asad uchyate. The truth cannot be, the Brahman cannot be referred to as is or is not. Is it not our experience? Like now there is waking, therefore we are waker, and we are not dreamer, we are not deep sleeper. Option. In the dream, we are the dreamer, not the waker, not the deep sleeper. But do we have this option, whether I am or I am not? So when this option is not there, whatever you say, I am or I am not, both are bluffs. See, friends, in the same manner, I want to realize, you are realized man. It is something like, a person made a statement. that I have no tongue in my mouth. Can it be accepted? When you are talking, there is a tongue in your mouth. And when you have no tongue in the mouth, you will not make this statement. In the same manner, to say that I don't know the divinity, the divine is making this statement. Abiding in this non-optional experience is the spiritual practice. Be attentive. To come to this experience of non-optional existence, start giving minimum options to yourself. Lesser the choice we give, happier we are. Give yourself zero choice, you are 100% happy. With every additional choice, to that extent, our degree of happiness goes down. More the choices, more the misery. Lesser the choices, lesser the miseries. No choice, no misery. But our condition is, in the rainy season we complain, oh it is too much rainy. In the summer we complain, it is too hot. In the winter we complain, it is too cold. In Bangalore we complain, it is too traffic jam. You can never be happy. Give yourself a zero choice. See, that choiceless existence is God realization. But we create, and what is prosperity? Prosperity is giving more choices, is called as prosperity. If you have got only one type of dress, poor fellow. And if you are rich, I should have 365 saris hanging there pathetically. Then every day watch, this one no, this one no, this one no. This one. More choice, more miseries. Less choice, less miseries. No choice, no miseries. See? This is application of Mandukya Upanishad in day-to-day life for realization. I am not giving you a difficult task that you do, the pumping of the air, pranayam karo, and then do Shirshasana and suffer silently. No. Don't sit for meditation. And the more you want, that the mind should not move, the more the mind will move. Just be indifferent, do man whatever you want, who cares? See? As you are listening to my talk, listen to the world. You will be happy. Because listening to my talk has not made any difference in you. You are the same. Asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punaha. So many Mahatmas have come and told so many times that you are divine. Oh, I am divine. But if somebody comes and tells that you are a fool, why do you call me fool? Because how come he also knows? See, friends, the truth we don't like. See, friends, therefore, yatra suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayate na kanchana swapnam pashyati tat sushuptam. And sushupta sthane eki bhutaha prajnana ganaha. There the mind remains undivided. See, prajnana ghana, see, in one of the texts, Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes, Satchidananda Kandaya Jagadankura Hetave. That which is a mass of consciousness. Kanda means a tuber. Like we have got potato, is a kanda. Then the sweet potato, kanda. Now when you have to plant the potato, there are no seeds. There is nothing. You plant directly the potato itself. It sprouts. Because in that potato, the seedness is all permeating in the whole body of the potato. It is not like a mango, seed separate, pulp separate. In the same manner, this potentiality in the divine When it is unmanifest, it is prajnana ghana. And when the same potentiality becomes manifest, the world is created. See? Like the water and its potentiality. When it is unmanifest, it is simple water at a causal level. And when it becomes manifest, then the waters become the ocean. Further, the oceans become the wave. And the movement begins and the samsara is created. But if you take a glass of water, in the glass of water, there is a ability to sustain life, but there is no ocean, nobody drowns in a glass of water, nor there are waves. So what are the ocean and the waves? It is manifestation of the dormant potentiality in the water to express as ocean, which is called as the cause, and waves, which is called as the effect. So we are looking at the waters, we call it ocean. We are looking at the wave, water, we call it as waves. So what we have done, because of the conditioning of the totality, is called as the ocean. Conditioning of the individuality is called as the wave. So totality becomes the cause, individuality becomes the effect. In the same manner, with Maya, Ishvara become the creator, the ocean. And with the Panchakoshas, the wave, the Jiva become the individuality. And thus, on one Paramatma, the conditioning of totality and individuality is superimposed and cause and effect is imagined. Get this point across. See, friends, we are seeing God, but we call it as waves, or rather we call it as Jagat, the world. We are divine, but we call ourselves soul or the Jiva. And God is not far away somewhere above the clouds, but we have pushed him away. Those are three conditioning. Objectivity imposed on the divine is called as the world. Subjectivity imposed on the Paramatma is called as the experience or the Jiva, and the otherness and distantness, parokshata, imposed on the reality is called as Ishvara. So that one Paramatma is called as Jiva Jagat Ishvara, like one man is called as the son, husband and the father. See, friends. So what sadhana we have to do? No sadhana. Then relax. But it is said, we should realize God in this life. You cannot realize because you are. Can a husband ever become a man? He cannot. Because he is already a man. How can he become? He can become if he is not. See, friends, we can never become divine. We are. See, the Jiva, the husband we have become. See, friends. So, Prajnana Ganaha Anandamayaha. Ananda Bhuk Cheto Mukha. Anandamayaha. Therefore, because there is no sense of otherness. Now be very attentive. What is misery? When the knowledge is divided into subject-object, the divided knowledge is called as mind. And the division creates pain. See, like object, rasgulla. The tasting instrument, rasana, tongue. When they are separate, there is misery. When the rasgulla is lifted and landed on the tongue, Brahmanandam Paramasukadam. Because the division of subject-object is gone. Anandamaya means that experience where the subject-object division disappears. And therefore, it is not absolute ananda, it is not absolute bliss. It is absence of the division. The moment division will come, again miseries will start. Brahmananda is that whether division or no division makes no difference. That is Jivan Mukti. Therefore, the wise people live in this very world, operate like any one of us, and yet beyond the limitations of this world. Because they are not sleepy, they are awakened. See, therefore, Prajnanagana Anandamayaha. Maya means vikar, modification. And therefore, we can talk about very deep sleep, disturbed sleep, etc. But the absolute bliss does not have any grades of happiness. Grades of happiness, to understand, is something like this. You think about an object of your choice. Same example. If you are a Bengali, think about बहुत दिनों से संदेश नहीं खाया. The moment the thought of sandesh comes, we feel good. And then for no reason, sandesh comes in front of you. Oh God, I could never imagine I can get sandesh here. And then somebody offers you, please take it. And you bounce on the... So first degree, when you think about the things that you like. Second thing, it is available to you. Third thing, you can indulge. 3 degrees of happiness. Ananda Mayaha, modifications of happiness or bliss. But the absolute bliss does not have any modification, therefore it is infinite. And this Ananda can neither be increased nor be decreased. See friends, that which can be increased or decreased is only at the mental level. That is why Bhagavan Krishna again and again emphasizes in Bhagavad Gita that maintain the equanimity of the mind. See, dukkheshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspuraha. When the miseries don't make us miserable and when the comforts don't make us the victims or the slaves of the comfort, because the mind is absolutely at peace. It is not buffeted by the achievements and failures. That is what is mentioned here. Prajnanaganaha eva anandamayaha. He anandabhuk. Now for this Atma here in this deep sleep, the experience is Anandabhuk. He is only experiencing the Ananda because absence of the division of the mind into experience and experiencer. Cheto Mukhaha Prajna Tritiya. He is called as Prajna and he is experiencing this through his mind is now become introvert toward the own self. This is Prajna Tritiya Padaha. This is the third aspect of the Atma because of the 3 conditioning. So first conditioning was the gross body, second was the subtle body, third was the causal body. In the causal body, prajna means prakarshen ajna, not knowing anything. What is the world, who am I, who is God, what is spiritual practice, nothing is known. Therefore, these are the 3 conditioning. First conditioning, waking, waker. Second conditioning, dream, dreamer. So, the waker's conditioning is identification with the gross body. The dreamer's conditioning is identification with the modifications of the mind. And the prajna, the deep sleeper, the conditioning is absence of the earlier 2. That absence is the conditioning. This is how that one Atma, one Brahman is now conditioned because of these 3 conditioning and is called respectively as the waker, dreamer and the deep sleeper. Remember, we are talking at a causal level. We are not talking at the individual level. See. But what happens? When we come at the waking and the dream level, it becomes individualities. My waking experience have got different meaning, different kind of experiences. Your waking experiences are different. Your dreams are different, my dreams are different. See? And the dreams depend on whose dream it is. One child got up in the morning, started crying. So when he was crying, the father became angry. You right in the morning cry, you are just like your mom. Early morning start crying. What happened? The child cries, I had a very bad dream, Papa. I failed in the examination. The father gets more angry. Even in the dream you cannot pass? How will you pass in the waking experience? One child asked me this question. Swamiji, do you dream? I said, of course. I have always dreamed about examination or playing cricket. What dreams you get? I said, I get only one dream. I am giving lecture and people are sleeping. Only one dream, again and again, the same dream. See? And the dreams are nothing but continuation of your waking. So, your waking experiences and my experiences are different. Your dreams and my dreams are different. Be attentive. But our deep sleep experience is common. In deep sleep, there is no you versus I. See, friends, tsunamis, then Katrina, and then waves, breaker, ripples, foam, they may be different. But ocean is one. Now here, Esha Sarveshwaraha, Esha Sarvajnyaha, Esha Antarjami, Esha Yonihi Sarvasya Prabhavapyayohi Bhutanam. Now this Pradnya, what we call at the individual level, is Ishvara at the total level. See, like all of us are expression of the same deep sleep. Because of our identification with a particular body, separateness happens. Because of our identification with the particular modifications of the mind, dream happens. When these two identifications are discarded, we all merge. Eki bhutaha prajnanagane, we get merged into one homogeneous, undivided experience. And because there is no division, there is no tension. See, friends, why we suffer in life? Because we hold on to the unwanted things in life. See, once I was conducting a management thing, and to make this point clear, I made this experiment. I said, today we learn some important principle through one example. And I organized one papad there. And I asked, I said, hey, who is a Sindhi among you? Most of them were necktie brand, you know. The one was, I am Sindhi, please come. He came. I said, you please lift this papad, don't break it. Can you lift it? Of course. Lift it. Hold it like this. So he held like this. I said, keep holding, and I keep talking on other topics. After some time, his hand started going down. I said, hey, hand up. Okay. Again, I continued talking here and there. Again, after a few moments, his hand goes down. 2-3 times. He said, Swamiji, I can't hold it now. It is paining. I said, okay, eat papad and go. If you want to make any devata prasanna, you should give the proper naivedyam. If you want to make a Sindhi happy, give papad in the beginning. Don't give a papad in the beginning to a Marwadi. He will become angry. We must know which prasad is to be given to which god. So, then I said, look here, when you lifted the papad, what was the weight of the papad? Maybe 2 grams or 5 grams. Yes. When you held it for some time, why hand went down? Has the weight of the papad increased? No. Then why you are tired? Exactly the same way. Whatever insignificant a thing may be in life, if you hold on to it for a longer period of time, you will get tired. Then what is to be done? Eat the papad. Relax. See, friends, we all suffer, never because of some great things in life. We all suffer because of silly things. In the morning, I did not get a cup of tea. Arey Daridri, if you have to be miserable for something higher, not for a cup of tea. See, friends, and in deep sleep, all achievements and failures, they are dropped. You are not holding on to anything. When you don't hold on to anything, you merge with the Absolute. See, friends, and this Prajnana Ghana, Esha Sarveshwaraha. So, this deep sleep or the Prajna or the Ishvara, he is Sarveshwaraha, he is the knower of everything and creator of everything. Like ocean is the creator of every wave. We may give different names. Pacific Ocean and agitated ocean. We may give names. But it is the one and the same. In the same manner, whether it is the sleep of a rich man or a poor man or a dog or a snake, in sleep we are all one. Think. Before sleeping, how many things, don't touch me, keep away, no. And after you sleep, then my legs go in your lap, you have no objection. Your hand goes in my pocket, I have no objection. Because there is no sense of otherness. So, Esha Sarveshwaraha, from this Pragya or the Ishvara, the whole world comes out. Therefore, be attentive. Totality Ishvara is called as Prajna at the individual level. Totality Hiranyagarbha Sutratma is called as the subtle body at the individual level. Totality Virat Purushaha is called as the individual gross body owner, waker at the individual level. See, friends, because our gross body is made out of the same 5 elements. See, friends, our subtle body is nothing but the extension of the same total subtle body, the Sutratma. See, in this manner, we all are one if we able to think in this line of direction. So, Esha Sarveshwara, Esha Sarvajnyaha. He is the knower of everything, and Esha Antaryami, he alone controls from within. The same reality controls from within. Esha Yonihi Sarvasya. And from this Prajna Ishvara alone, everything is born. Prabhavapyavihi Bhutanam. And thus, there is a constant manifestation, unmanifestation, incessantly going on. This is how there is no creation. There is only manifestation and manifestation. Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananneva tatra ka paridevana. Everything was unmanifest, it becomes manifest, again it will become unmanifest. Therefore, there is nothing new ever created in this world. But many people get unnecessarily worried. I don't know what is going to happen to this world. Nothing is going to happen. This world has always been like this. It's nothing new. See? But what do you think about terrorism? Same common question. What job our Hitlerananda Maharaj did is unparalleled. How many people were killed in Mahabharat war? This has always been happening. It's nothing new in this world. See, friends, instead of focusing attention on our divine self, we get lost. Like, instead of focusing attention on electricity, we get lost on what is illumined by the light. Therefore, kaschit dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avrutta chakshuho amrutatvam icchan. Kathopanishad says that paranchi khani vetruna swayambhu. Till such time we reside in our sense organs, we will be going away from ourselves. Paran anchati, the one who goes away from self. Kaschit dhiraha, rare indeed is the one who avrutta chakshuhu, who has the capacity, the guts, the will to close all his faculties, and amrutatvam icchan, now seeking the immortality that we are. See, friends, this is how sarvasya prabhapahi bhutanam. Up to here, the sixth mantra, this is the original mantras given by the Upanishad. Now on this, hereafter, the commentary of Gaudapadacharya in the form of Kanikas begin, that will take in our tomorrow's class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.